Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's the People's Champ, Marco Polo. I want to get on today about how it's unaffordable to live on our daily wages. And the Secretary of Agriculture recently stating that the people are making too much money at the moment. And that's the reason that food costs are so high or soaring. We need to make less money so that food costs less, because then it'll be extremely out of our reach, us being the working people. Isn't that great? We've got like a billionaire class in charge of everyone. You look at all these politicians, multimillionaires, many of them in the White House are billionaires with a B. And these people are out of touch with the common man, but they're ruling over the common man and the common woman. And that's the problem. Common people aren't doing as good as their parents were doing at the same age. And that's a tragedy. That's a problem. Because what if our children aren't even doing as well as we are? The trajectory that we're on, that's what's actually going to happen. So what you can do for yourself and your family is try your best, do whatever it takes to push yourself into a higher income. And not just a higher income, but use that income to invest in things like stocks that pay you dividends, houses, real estate. Look, I don't like it as much as anyone that the price of a house is out of reach for the average American. It's absolute BS. A family should be able to afford a house, at least a family who has a decent job, a breadwinner. Now it takes two jobs, but it takes two great jobs for the common house. The median house, I believe, is around $400,000, maybe $430,000 in the United States. It's different wherever you live, but there's also things that come along with it, like you have risks, certain zones that you live in. If you live near a coastal area, you could have hurricanes. If you live in California, it could be wildfires. A lot of insurance companies do not want to cover people in these places. Even Texas, the insurance is going really high. And you marry that with the high income tax and how much they're saying these houses are actually worth. Well, they've already reassessed those values and they are raking the money in. They are raking in the income tax. They're stealing from the people. Something that you already bought. You buy it one time and you pay tax on it for eternity. Isn't that wonderful? Leave a comment if you feel the same way as I do, that we're just up against BS everywhere we go. Every avenue, everything we try to do, they're trying to shut us down. They're always putting their foot on the working man, always shoving you down. Meanwhile, you see their children and their heirs don't have to stress not even a quarter of what my children and my heirs do to get to the same point. And maybe we'll never reach the same place. A working man like me, putting in massive amounts of time, trading my life for dollars, isn't even balling out like an 18, 20-year-old kid hanging off of, his daddy's titty. And I understand, it's not his fault. He lives the life that his father gave to him. Well, how about the rest of us? Can we give that same, or even a spark of that wonderful, relaxing, great life to our children, without the stresses and the worries about where they're going to find a meal, or going without certain things, that you actually need? So, absolutely not. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight for mine. I hope you fight for yours. And we got to win this one. We definitely got to win this one. This is our life. You only get one shot at it, and you got to give it your all. For real. There ain't no time for laying back, watching movies, saying the heck with it, giving up on the world. A lot of people are doing that right now. and it's the wrong thing to do because you're going to regret it. It's like you go through the hard times now so that when you're unable to go through the hard times, with the vigor and the age that you're at, to where you can actually make a living wage when you're a very able person with all your thought processes in order. You're able to make a living wage, hopefully. And when you get older, all that might go. You won't feel the same. You won't get out of bed the same. You won't have that extra gas in your tank to make it through the day. What happens when you're missing a step? When times get tougher, when you're unable to work sometimes, what happens then? These high level jobs that you could hold while you're, in the prime of your life are going to select somebody who's younger. They're going to select somebody who's, more with the times or more qualified. We try our best to stay with the times. But, as you get older, you look back and you see how things were, and you can kind of put a timeline together, and they can't fool you. They owe you more money because of the knowledge. I'm not saying they owe it to you, but you do command more money. I'll say it that way. Being that you come from a long line through the bullshit, through the smoke, through the fire, and you know what to do in tough situations. You're cool under pressure. You've seen situations like what you're dealing with when everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off. You're just getting straight down to business, because that's what experience gives you. And that's value. That's true value. But as you get older, they toss that away. They toss it to the side like the trash to the curb on a Thursday. And it gets picked up and dumped. They're always looking for somebody who worked for half the price, somebody who will listen to their nonsense, somebody who will kiss up to them. Yeah. So I digress. Back to what I was saying, a living wage. How can you make it if the goalposts keep moving further away, if you can't score? You see, they say that we need to make less money, and that will bring the prices of goods and services and food down, according to the Secretary of Agriculture. Well, let me tell you something, Secretary of Agriculture. I'll put that finger up. I won't do it for YouTube. The algorithm messed me up. But how about that? How about that? You know what? How about for these politicians? How about that? You know what? Give me a thumbs up if you feel the same way. Give me a thumbs up. Because we're sick and tired of being misrepresented. And we're sick and tired of the government designed to save its own tail. The people in it, corrupted. Only goal is to stay in power. And the people always come second. The will of the people, the needs of the people were never first. First is the survival of the government itself. And second is the retention of the power. Those are actually both number one in the minds of our leaders, our fearless leaders. The fearless mind. They're not fearless. They fear losing power. That's why they'll tell you anything and everything to smooth talk you with the silver tongue. And they're like snakes. They slither because they're lying. They're like the old snake in the Garden of Eden. Temptation, telling you this, telling you that. And then when you do the wrong thing, gotcha. Anyways, we are doing the wrong thing because we were programmed from a young age to do good in school, always listen to what you're told, work hard, get a good job, be a good employee, and maybe, just maybe, you'll retire and you can afford, a modest lifestyle for yourself. Maybe that's not good enough. Why does it have to be modest? Can't some of us break out this matrix? You know what? People are doing it all over the place. And this is 2025 going on 2026. I want you to enjoy your Thanksgiving, and I want you to break out of the matrix, just like I'm going to break out of the matrix. Let's do this together. This is Marco Polo. Y'all take care. Peace.